Guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno's Best Comics of the Week, and this is the show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show. We go least favorite to best pick of the week and everything in between, and at the end of the video, we talk about the viewer's pick of the week, and for a chance to be featured on the video, in the comments below, you can let me know your pick of the week. I also do have a Kickstarter going on for my comic book Slice of Life. It's about an anime character comes to life and falls in love with a high school cheerleader, so hopefully guys go check that one out. Now, this week I had a really small haul. It was only 8 books this week. And number 8 for me is, sadly, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 65. I felt like this book had potential. I enjoyed the idea of looking at the deaths of all the people that Peter loves. But honestly, because they showcase so many of those characters, there's no emotional punch there. And even in the end of the issue, he's like, well, I quit if everyone's going to die eventually. And it's like, yeah, everyone's going to die eventually. That is life. So it kind of takes away that emotional punch and honestly feels like it takes away any weight of the book. So I just couldn't really get into this one, and I don't know what the direction it's going to really be taking Peter and Spider-Man as a whole. But I did like the art. It's Cafu, who does wonderful art, so I thought that was pretty solid. So overall, giving that one 2.5 stars, and that is number 8. Moving on to number 7, which is Daredevil Unleashed Hell. This is a Red Band book. Which, was it worth it being Red Band? Probably not. I don't feel like there was much of a difference. One of my biggest pet peeves about the Red Band books is that they're not that explicit besides the blood, so you don't have any sex, you don't have any cursing, and in this issue in particular, there's a lot of cursing in the issue that they have to bleep out, and then obviously you see the blood, so it's like, what was the point of putting it in a poly bag if it's not that violent? So I'm always torn with the Red Band stuff. I'm like, just go all the way if you're gonna make it poly bagged and make it mature. Kind of could tell they're just making it Red Band for the sake of Red Band for this one, where it's just like, okay, add extra blood over there, and I just don't think it worked for this. But honestly, if you've been enjoying Daredevil, you've been enjoying Elektra's run, it's pretty much the same thing, except now it's a Red Band book, and you're following that story. I probably will give it another issue to see where it goes. I don't know if anything like truly hooked me in this issue, but I like Elektra's voice. I thought the beginning was pretty solid about Hell's Kitchen and her connection to Hell's Kitchen, and we'll see where the rest of the story goes. So giving that one 3 stars, and that is number 7. Moving on to number 6, which is a book I wasn't even going to get, but I ended up getting because it was a very, again, small week, and that is New Champions issue 1. I also was a bit torn on this one because I feel like it has a lot of potential. I do feel like this book tried hard to show, like, okay, see, all these characters have different walks of life and they're coming together. But the beginning is your average Marvel superhero beginning where it's like, here's a fight. Let's see them in action, and then you slow things down, and you're like, here they are as people, but there wasn't anything in particular where I'm like, wow, that really moved me. But I do think that these characters are different enough, show to have chemistry in this issue, that hopefully as issues go on, we get to see that emotional weight a little bit more that I want from these, especially young adult teen books. And I'm also curious to see what the age range is going to be for this one, because I felt like this definitely felt like I am targeting teens more than anything, so I'm curious if it's going to be more all ages and who it's going to target by the long run, especially like Spider-Boy's in there, who I felt has been more geared to younger audiences than someone like me. So overall, giving that one 3 stars, might give the next issue a try if it's a small week again. Alright, now we're already up to top 5. So number 5 for me is Magik issue 1. This is actually her first ongoing book. We've had miniseries with Magik before, but never an ongoing. I liked it. You know, I'm not a huge Magik fan, but it gave me enough to want to read issue 2. I think it described her character well enough if you know nothing about her. So if you're just like picking up the X-Men for the first time, then you get to learn a bit about her. I liked how it dived into the magic aspect. It dived into, obviously, her hell aspect, and a little less about the X-Men, which I actually appreciated for this, because there's so many X-Men books, I kind of want to see the other angle of Magik a bit more. I thought the art fit pretty well for this as well, so I think it gave me enough for an issue 2 and to see where it goes. So giving that one 3.5 stars, and that is number 5. Moving on to number 4, which is Absolute Batman issue 4. This is a different artist. If you've read Phantom Road, it's the same artist who did that. And as I was reading, I'm like, this reminds me a lot of Phantom Road. And then I looked up the artist. I'm like, oh, that's why. And this issue I actually thought was pretty poetic. I do think they try to cram a lot into it, especially dialogue-wise, but once you get to the heart of what the story is, and Bruce realizing why he is always attracted to bat animals and characters, but really the heart is his conversation with his dad and how he feels about his dad's death and how his dad died. I don't know if the art fit it as perfectly as the regular artist on this book, but I liked it. I enjoyed, again, the poeticness. I just think I have read better issues of this series as well. So overall, giving that one 3.5 stars, and that is number 4. Moving on to number 3, which is the Uncanny X-Men issue 8. I liked it as a continuation for more to come. I enjoyed the back and forth between Rogue and Cyclops. I liked the Professor Xavier mystery that's going to be building to this next arc that's coming up. And I enjoy just seeing both teams kind of team up / verse each other. I like the artwork a lot for this one as well. But I do think it is more of like, here is a puzzle piece to a bigger puzzle and not a finished of an arc, which maybe some people would be disappointed by. But I liked it. I love the artwork for this one, and definitely curious to see where the X-Men's going to go overall. So going to give that one 3.5 stars, and that is number 3. Moving on to number 2, which is the topic of the video, and that is Aquaman issue 1. Full disclaimer, I'm not a huge Aquaman fan at all. I've never really gotten into the character that much, but I love Jeremy Adams, and I think he does such a great job at family work and character work in general, and then also building that mythos. And it's so funny to see him literally follow Jeff Johns' footsteps, because he did The Flash, is on Green Lantern, and is now on Aquaman. So it's just interesting to see that. But yeah, I think this did a good job at making it for Aquaman fans. There's definitely a lot of references to the Aquaman family and stories that we've seen in the past with him, but also making it new reader friendly and exciting as well. It doesn't really feel like it's just your run-of-the-mill run. Like, I think it does a good job of giving you a cliffhanger, tying it into the bigger DC universe with potentially Darkseid coming into things, and then also giving a little emotional weight with Atlantis disappearing and getting to see some of those other Aquaman-related characters. And again, tying it together to the Justice League and the bigger Absolute Power stories that have been going on with DC. I thought this was a solid issue. I think Tim's artwork fits pretty well for this as well. So I'm excited to read more and hopefully become an Aquaman fan. So I definitely think this is worth picking up. Either if you're an Aquaman fan and you've been reading him for 30 years, there's something there. And if you've never read Aquaman in your life, I think it's very new reader friendly, which is sometimes hard to do. So giving that one 4 stars, and that is number 2. Moving on to my pick of the week. If you guys know me, it's the obvious pick of the week for the week, and that is Snotgirl issue 17. I think it does a really good job at just making you more confused, but also feeling like you learn more. You're always in Lottie's point of view, where you're like, well, does she have all the information? Does she not? In this issue in particular, she's dealing with being outed by her girlfriend to her mom. You don't see that interaction as much. It's more about how her relationship is affected between her and Caroline. Lottie's like, okay, well, I don't know much about my girlfriend or even her parents. So we get a story that her parents died at Six Flags and died on a ride. And you're like, is that true? Is it not true? Like, what's going on? What other secrets are they keeping? And obviously that's been a big mystery about Snotgirl, is the mystery of Caroline. But I like this one. I thought it was a really solid point A to point B, and it really makes you feel like the story is moving. I did want to see a little bit more with Lottie and her mom, especially after that cliffhanger, but I think we're going to get that more in the next issue or the issue after that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what your pick of the week was. This is Comic Uno, and last week's pick of the week was Absolute Superman, and here are some comments about that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.